Maharshi Parashar says the sun, moon, and Lagna, these are the three tripods of life. These are the three reference points that are used in judging the relationship, in judging the effects of various Mahadashas and Antardasha and Pratyantardasha in the Vimshotri Dasha, as well as other nakshatra based dashas. Okay. Now, what are dashas? Dashas are actually uh, a tool, a technique in Vedic astrology to time the events. Now, that timing of events can be judged from these three reference points. Oh, that's why, from the perspective of Sun Lagna, one has to see the work that one has to do with respect to the supreme soul, the universal purpose. Okay, and Sun represents that universal purpose. That is the first reference point. For example, you see that in Sri Ram's Kundli, Mars is there in the 10th house from Sun. So the supreme purpose of his life was to fight war, to fight that war against Ravana. Whereas from the Lagna, Mars was in the 7th house. So from his perspective, he was fighting a war to get back his wife. So you see how from the reference points one can determine the purpose of one's life. From Sun reference point, you can see what is the purpose of your life with respect to the universe, with respect to the universal energy. And from the Lagna, it is more of a personal point of view. Like you could be doing something just for your personal interest, but on the higher purpose, it is something that the universal soul wants you to do. Okay. Likewise, from the moon, one has to see what one is doing at the mental level. Okay, or what one does from the with respect to society. Okay. Now, with respect to society, it could happen that the person may be doing very good things with respect to society, but it results in something very bad from the universal perspective. Okay, because society is a very constrained form of the universe. Okay, and it totally depends on how you think of society as. Okay. So that's how the Sun, Moon, and Lagna, these three reference points, are used to judge the uh, the uh, the effects of various dashas. Okay. Now the first level of dasha is the Mahadasha. Okay, and Mahadasha of a planet shows the direction of one's life. Okay, this Mahadasha needs to be judged from the Sun reference point. Because when Mahadasha changes, the purpose of the soul changes. Okay, one could be just running behind money, running behind profits during one Mahadasha, but suddenly when Mahadasha changes, he becomes spiritual. He completely changes the focus of his life based on the Mahadasha, and that Mahadasha need to be judged from the Sun. Then Antardasha needs to be judged from the Moon. Okay, Moon reference point is used for judging the event mostly from the mental perspective. Okay, like mentally you could be working in a company, or no, overall purpose of this video is not to describe each and every Antardasha. But here I will be discussing a brief technique based on the Pachakadi Sambandh of a planet, and how it results into various, how you can interpret the results using the Pachakadi Sambandh. Okay, it is basically a unique kind of relationship that exists between planets and houses. Okay, there are 4 kinds of relationship that exist in the Pachakadi Sambandh. First one is the Pachak. Okay, one planet becomes Pachak for another planet. Pachak means digester, ripener. Okay, it is basically the planet that results in creation of opportunity for the other planet. Okay, for example, uh, uh, Saturn becomes Pachak for Sun. Okay, so basically Saturn creates an opportunity for Sun. So you'll see that the if suppose you are running the Mahadasha of Sun, then Saturn is the Antardasha in which the main opportunity will be created. Okay, the main opportunity to fulfill the dharma of the Mahadasha. Okay, what is the dharma of Mahadasha? What is the main sole purpose of Mahadasha? What does the Vishwatma wants you to do? That purpose gets created during the sign of Pachaka. So Pachak is working like a, a dharma trikon. It's like a dharma, like we discussed in the past video, the four purusharthas. So the Pachak's purusharth is to create the dharma, to create the sense of purpose in the Mahadasha. Okay. Then the second one is the Bodhak. Bodhak is like creation of desire for something. Okay. For example, let's say your purpose, purpose of your Mahadasha is to get you the job. So first point, your job must be created somewhere. So let's say in XYZ company, there is a requirement that got created suddenly. Okay, so that creation of requirement will happen in the Dasha of Pachak planet. Okay, because that will be the one that creates the opportunity. Then, then that requirement needs to be known to you, and also you should be willing to work on that environment, work on that requirement. Okay, because you should have intention to work in that company. So that intention is created by the Bodhak planet. Bodhak means informer. Okay, it works like a calm trikon. It works like a planet creating the desire in one's Mahadasha to get connected with that opportunity. Okay, for example, if you are looking for a job, then that information of job should come to you from Naukri.com or Monster.com. So that informer, that site works as an informer to you. So that is the task of Bodhak planet. Also, not only the information dissemination, but also the creation of desire inside you should be there in the Bodhak planet also, in the Antardasha of Bodhak planet. Okay, so that's why it is represented by the seventh house. Okay, it is like a calm trikon to the Mahadasha Lord. So suppose you are running the Mahadasha of Sun, then Mars act as a Bodhak planet. So Mars is the one that gets the information of the opportunity to be seized, or the opportunity to be seized for performing the main purpose of your Mahadasha. Now the next one is the Karaka. Okay, there is a planet called Karak for this particular planet that works as a doer of this task. Okay, the actual task of getting that opportunity and working on that opportunity and fructifying the overall result, that is done by the Karak planet. Okay, for example, for Sun, the Karak planet is Jupiter. So in the Dasha of Jupiter, the main sole purpose of Sun is fulfilled. Okay, that task get done, and that task getting done is like a earth trikon. Okay, it is like the Purusharth earth, that one has to do that task. Okay, and fetch the result of that task, accumulate the wealth, accumulate the results out of that task. So that's how this gets done. Then the fourth category is the Vedhak. A Vedhak planet is like an obstruction. Okay, like you want to do some task, but when the dasha of this planet comes, you will not be able to perform that task to the full extent. Okay, it will create badha, it will create obstacles in achieving the purpose in your life during that Mahadasha. So this way you can interpret, like for Sun, I'll give an example. For Sun, Venus is the Vedhak planet. Okay, it creates the obstacle for Sun. So whenever Dasha of Venus comes in the Mahadasha of Sun, it results in lot of obstacles in fulfilling one's purpose. Okay, so this way basically you can judge the results of Mahadasha at a very broad level. Now just now what I told you is the planet with respect to planet. There are also some houses with respect to planet that work as this Pachak, Bodhak, Karak and Vedhak. Okay, and so if there is any planet in these houses, they also get that kind of Karakatva. Okay, for example, if let's say the seventh house from Sun is the Bodhak, then if there is any planet in the seventh house from Sun, then it will act like a Bodhak to him. Okay, it will act like, it will create the desire for Sun, it will create the information for Sun. Okay, so that way basically, now this is the chart that you have to see for to reckon all the relationship between various planets. Okay, this chart you can refer always to judge the Mahadasha and Antardasha. Now the same thing can be judged at the Antardasha and Pratyantardasha level also. Okay, so you just have to apply the same principle, taking the Antardasha as the main planet and judging the relationship with all the Antardasha or the Pratyantardasha planets with respect to it, to find out how the whole purpose of that Antardasha is going to fructify. Okay, so thank you viewers for watching this video, and subscribe my video to get further updates on the astrology channel. Thank you very much. Om Guruve Namah.